I have now completed my research, planning, poster, website and my main product. I shall now be evaluating my work and discussing the methods and different conventions I have used throughout. I shall also be talking about what I have learned and what can have been improved. In what ways does my media product develop or challenge different forms of conventions? Poster. The genre I have chosen to do is horror, with Stalker being the subgenre. The two posters I analysed were When a Stranger Calls and Sorority Row. The posters were both very different when it came to the images, but both similar in the fact that they were image dominant. When a Stranger Calls poster is the one which I mainly based and used ideas for my own poster. This is because it was of the main character like my own, however I did not include an image of the stalker like When a Stranger Calls poster. The image for my poster is very big and eye-catching, and the main reason for this is because when I did my questionnaire, the results showed that images were the main thing which drew the audience to watching a movie. This made me realise that an image was important and that I would have to create one which fitted well with the theme and the genre of my trailer. Because my trailer is mainly handheld, as a lot of it is the character being watched, my image is the main character walking and the background is blurred. This gives the impression that she is being watched and someone has taken a picture of her while she is walking. This fits in well with my movie, but without giving too much away. In When a Stranger Calls, it shows the main character looking scared and worried, and she has direct eye contact with the camera in the poster, whereas my main character in my poster does not, which creates the atmosphere and impression that she is being watched. This is one of my main challenges to the normal conventions, as even in the poster for Sorority Row, all the main characters have direct eye contact with the audience. The Sorority Row poster has the caption, "They share a killer secret," which shows a direct link between the 6 girls on the poster as being the main characters, and that they will be part of the main plot. It was also the clever use of a pun. In my own poster I used a much simpler and more obvious tagline, which was "Somebody is watching you." However, in When a Stranger Calls there is no tagline, and this is probably because they do not want to give too much away. In my poster, the font is in RS font, which is one I had specifically downloaded from the internet, and the billing block is in steel tongues, which helps keep in with conventions of other horror movies, as their billing blocks also use this font, and it helped make my poster look more professional. Another convention I followed was company reviews at the top of the poster, and this is what they have done in Sorority Row. This came across as being very effective as it gives a well-established company's opinion and would give the audience a good idea of other people's opinions on it. The title for my poster was very simple white writing, the RS font which I had downloaded. This gave it an eerie feel. The writing on When a Stranger Calls is also white simple writing, and I have conformed to this convention as it is very effective because it does not dominate the page, it instead lets the image be the main focus. This is a convention which both Sorority Row and When a Stranger Calls have followed. I found it was also more conventional to put the title towards the bottom of the poster as it was not the main focus. In both Sorority Row and When a Stranger Calls, the title is lower down the page rather than at the top. This shows that it is not as important, and it linked to my audience research of the image being the main focus of the page. When I researched genre-related posters, it was clear that dark and light contrasts were very effective. More often, the darker colours created the more sinister atmosphere. I used black and white mainly in my poster, a theme which I kept in the website and throughout my trailer. These colours were the most effective as the black seems dangerous and evil and the white contrasts well against it. This seemed to conform to the conventions as the two posters I analysed used dark colours, and in the general genre of horror, red, white and black are often used. The image I have used of the main character makes her look more vulnerable as it gives the impression she is being watched or followed. Although she does not have direct eye contact with the audience, and this goes against the normal convention of horror films, I feel my image still makes a connection with the audience as she seems vulnerable, and it is also as if you are watching her too. Because during the movie she is being unknowingly watched, for the audience to make it seem if they are watching her being watched, it creates a creepy, unwelcoming atmosphere. The theory of binary opposition, as made by Levi Strauss, can be applied as the character seems weak and as if a more powerful, dominating character is intimidating her. The close-up shot of her gives a clear indication of her expression and shows the audience her face. In terms of narrative, this is a quick and effective way of telling the story. Website. In the two websites which I analysed, Sorority Row and When a Stranger Calls, neither of them included the trailer on the website, but when it came to my website I've decided to include it, and although this is challenging the convention, I felt as though it was effective to include it, as when it came to researching for the two movies I analysed it was time consuming finding the trailer, whereas if it had been on the website it would have been much more simple. On my website there was an image of the main character and then a picture of the stalker. This was important as it was telling narrative through imagery and gives the audience an idea of who the main characters will be. Also, because the images are taken in the woods, it gives them a brief idea that this will be the main setting. During my audience research, they said it was very important for the image to be standing out and catch your eye, as it is the first thing you'll notice and will initially draw you into it. In both websites which I analysed, the websites were dark themed with a black background. This is usually common in horror movie websites. However, I decided to challenge this convention by using a white background, as I felt it gave it a more eerie feel, as less is more. In my poster I used black and white as the main font colours, and I kept this convention throughout the poster and the trailer when the captions came up and the ending billing block. After looking at the two websites, both have the navigation links at the bottom of their page, and I feel this didn't highlight their importance and emphasise the options enough. Therefore, I put the links at the top of the page. The options I used were both a combination of the two websites I analysed. I also included an on-off option next to a sound symbol on my website. And the reason I did this was because it helps create an atmosphere. Although neither of my websites I analysed did this, I felt it was a good convention to challenge, as it also made my website stand out, as it is an uncommon feature. Towards the bottom of my page I have a link to play the website game, which again is a challenge to conventions, as neither of my websites included the option to play the game. I think this is a good idea to include on my website, as it helps promote the website and is a good link to advertise. At the bottom of my website I have two links to social networks, which are Twitter and Facebook. This can be directly linked to the idea of viral marketing and the popularity of Facebook and Twitter accounts. Neither of the websites I analysed gave this option, so I decided to go against this convention. I think it's important that a website includes those links, as the viral marketing method is very popular. At the top of my website I have given the option to enter your zip code in order to enter a competition to win free tickets. This again is another convention I challenged by adding onto my website. I think it is a good promotion of the website and it attracts interest. Both websites I analysed were very different. Sorority Row was very image dominated, whereas When a Stranger Calls was much more simple and did not include any images of the characters in the poster. This left me feeling very confused as to which layout would be the most conventional for my genre. In the end I decided to keep it simple, like the When a Stranger Calls website, in terms of not overdoing it with the images. However, I also used elements from the Sorority Row website by including images of both the main character and the stalker, with the main location as the background in each. I felt keeping it simple would be much easier to follow and find different areas of what you're looking for, which is the main convention used on the When a Stranger Calls website. Throughout my trailer there have been a variety of angles which I have used, including long, medium and close-up shots. When it comes to the horror genre, a mixture are used to create an atmosphere and build up tension, for example getting closer and closer to the action and using long shots, then slowly building up to medium shots and eventually going in for the close-up shot. The close-up shots I've used are all when it comes to the main characters or an important scene. For example, a low-angle shot is used when the body is found. It starts as a medium low-angle shot but soon becomes a close-up shot of the dead girl's face, as this creates tension even more, as it has been building up to it, then gives the audience a very clear view of her face. The effect of the low angle means that she seems even more vulnerable and shows how she has been defeated, as she is on the floor dead. An example of a high-angle shot used is when the main character is looking out of the window at the stalker. It begins as a close-up side-angle shot of her face and then becomes a high, long shot as she looks down on him. The effect this gives is that it is a bird's-eye view and that she is watching him, and it gives the effect that the audience are looking out of her eyes and seeing what she does. This gives a sense of connection with the viewers as you are seeing things from her literal view. The long shot I have used, where it has gone closer and closer, is at the end, where the main character and the stalker come face to face, and the long shots show the whole of them arguing as it goes closer to a medium shot of their faces, and then a low angle of the stalker's shoes walking closer to her. This creates tension and helps the atmosphere of danger build up, as it is fast paced yet not rushed, as it leaves the audience watching and waiting to see what happens. The intertitles which appear in between a few of the scenes are in the same RS font as the movie title Instinct. This helps keep the consistency and makes it clear that they are directly linked to the movie and what is going on within it. The ending, which has a billing block included, has the same font as the writing on the poster and website, which is the Steel Tongs one. At the end of my trailer, the website link appears on the billing block, and this shows a direct link between the website and trailer. It is also a way of promoting the website, and it also keeps in with the convention of horror movies, as in When a Stranger Calls and Sorority Row both include the website, as it is a popular form of advertising and attracts more attention to the movie by including different ways to interact.